we will discuss the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Most of us we know about Ulysses. We have seen it in Virgil's poetry and all about Ulysses. Ulysses had joined the battle of Troy in getting back the abducted Helen of Troy. So that was it's like he's coming after 20 years of journey. He is coming back, and then the interesting part is that instead of he reached up to the port of Ithaca, but then he doesn't stay there. He again goes for another expedition, and in that expedition he dies. So Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. It little profits that idle king by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal loss unto a savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. So he says that it is quite useless, it is not at all profitable, it's quite useless to remain like an idle king in an island along with the aged wife and son, and then listening to the subjects, the problems of the subjects, and then solving it. The people, those subjects who doesn't even know him personally, who only spend time in eating and drinking and sleeping. I cannot rest from travel. So he is telling that he is a restless traveler. He cannot rest from traveling. He is having the restless spirit for traveling. He is having the lust for adventure. I will drink life to the least. So drinking life to the least means I will live to the fullest. I will drink life to the least. At all times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone and sure, and when through scruddled drifts the rainy heights vex the dim sea. So he says that he has had both times of goodness and both times of hardships. Those times, sometimes he were alone with his dear one, sometimes he were alone, and then most of the time he was in the sea. I am become a name. That means that he has become famous now. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. So I have got lots of experience. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, all this he knows. Myself not least, but honored of them all. So he is honored by the knowledge of all this. And drunk delight of battle with my peers, far in the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am part of all that I have met. I have got great experience. Even in the battle of Troy, it's almost like a battle with the gods. So like he is a part of everything that he has met. Yet all experience is an arch where through gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and ever when I move. So he says that every time he finish one expedition, before him rises the arch of the new expeditions. When he covers that, another arch of new expeditions. So it continues. It goes forever and ever as he moves. How dull it is to pose, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in you. So he says how useless it will be to remain idle, to stop all this, to bring it to an end without using your skills. As though to breathe were life, as though we are living just to breathe. We are not living just to breathe, we are also living to do something new. Life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains. So life through little achievements we should go ahead in life, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. So he says that even if he gets an additional hour, he would like to spend it for expeditions till he dies. And while it were for some 3 years to store and hoard myself. So he feels quite regretful about the 3 years that he had wasted. And this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So he wants to yearn, desire to know, to follow knowledge. This is my son, my own Telemachus, to whom I leave the skept and the isle. So he says that he has left the island with Telemachus, his son, who is taking care of the subjects and all whatever role he had as a king is now being taken up by Telemachus. Well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. So he says that Though the people are quite uncivilized and uncultured, he manages to reign in a very proper way. And he says that he can never be like Telemachus, be there and taking care of all those. Most blameless is he, one cannot blame him. Centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in the office of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods. He not only takes care of the people, but he also gives respect to the gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mind. So when I go, he takes care of all those work, and I don't have to worry about all that. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. So he says, I can see the port of Ithaca. There gloom the dark broad seas. So I can see the broad seas. My mariner souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome look, the thunder and the sunshine and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. He says that his mariners were always with him through thick and thin, through the difficulties they were there with him, from young age to old age, still they all are with him. Old age had yet his honor and his toil. So old age people, when they reach their old age, they have got their own responsibilities. They still have got their responsibilities. Death closes all. Death will bring an end to everything. But something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. So he says that worthy men fought against the will of gods. So he finds himself worthy that he even fought with gods. Almost the battle of Troy were like fighting with the gods. The light begins to twinkle from the rocks, so the stars are coming out. The night is almost approaching. The lone day wanes. The slow moon climbs. The moon slowly climbs up. The deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, it's not too late to seek a newer world. So he is inviting his friends, fellow men, to go for a new expedition. Push off and sitting well in order smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and bats all the western stars until I die. So he says till he dies he wants to have new expeditions. It may be that the gulf will wash us down. Sometimes anything can happen in the sea, but he is not ready to give up. He is ready to go for his expeditions till he dies. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we know. So we may reach anywhere. Anything can happen. We may find, or one day we may die. Anything can happen. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not that strength within old age. So he says so much is taken, but still so much remains. Though he is old age, he has that strength to go ahead. Moved earth and heaven, and that we where we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts. So he says that all of them, his crew, all of them, they are like they have one heartbeat. That's what he says. Made weak by time and fate. Though they are made weak by time and fate, they are strong in their will. They have that willpower. What, for what they have the willpower? To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So to strive, they will strive everything, every difficulties they will strive. To seek means to discover new lands, to find new lands, unknown lands. To find means doing some new things, some new discoveries, some new inventions, etc. And not to yield. Never he will yield. Never to a place he will yield. He will continue till he die. He will continue his expeditions. So I hope this poem is very clear to you. You must really concentrate on the last line. The last line can be very much asked for exams. So I hope it's clear to you. Take care all of you. I hope you like the video. Thank you.